paralysis and just kind of talk about why people have it and what are some of the things that we can do to overcome it. You know,
I was always too stupid to be like analysis paralysis.
I had it for a couple weeks when I first got started.
I just didn't know what to do.
But the thing is, though, is there's some people that have had it for years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we get a lot of people that hire us that have had it for years. And that's great because they already know a lot of the business, if not all of it, but they're just not doing any of those things, right? So let's talk about some of the things that people may have analysis paralysis on. I would say first and foremost, they think that they need to know everything about something before they can begin, and that's like the worst mindset to have. If you know a little bit about it, start doing that. What do you know? Start doing that. Don't wait until you know everything, okay? So that's big picture analysis paralysis. If we're talking about marketing, we get a lot of people that come to us and they say, hey, you know, should I do direct mail or should I cold call or cold text? Well, man, those are two totally different types of marketing. Are you going to spend time or money? Which can you afford to budget for, right? But there shouldn't be analysis paralysis there. But there is, because people are thinking, well, there's so many different options. And those are only 2 or 3 different ways, Mike. There's 50 to 100 ways to find motivated sellers.
Maybe I
you
should
know
radio ads or
exactly.
Facebook ads.
Right. I think another big analysis paralysis
I do a TV commercial?
is, okay, so, you know, I've got this marketing ready to go, but I'm scared to send it because I don't know what to say whenever my phone actually starts ringing. Or, hey, I got this guy, I get this like once a week. Hey, I got this guy that wants to sell his property. What do I do now? Set the appointment.
Yeah, buy it.
How are you going to buy it if you can't get eyeballs on it, right? Like, get out in the field.
Yeah, no, that's not true. And you know what I said earlier? It's not true because I remember being scared to answer the phone. I had a separate line for my business. I bought a different phone, sending out marketing, and I was scared to answer the phone. Why?
I think we all probably have that feeling in the beginning. I don't remember having that per se, but I wouldn't be surprised, Mike, if I was a little scared in the beginning to answer the calls as well. I mean, everyone's going to have a little fear of doing something they haven't done before. But the goal here is to just do it, guys. Analysis paralysis it's like fear, in my opinion, right? And you can eliminate it by stop worrying, right? Like, don't worry twice is one of the mottos that I always tell my wife, and she will remind me and tell me if we're ever like sitting around worrying about something, we say, or here's the actual quote. We say, don't worry, you're suffering twice. If something bad happens or something that happens where you have to then react, well, then you can worry then because you're dealing with it. But don't sit around worrying about it, suffering, for then it to then just happen. So don't suffer twice is the thing, right?
The way that I look at it, I say don't steal your own joy.
That too.
Because you are literally, you're dwelling on something that hasn't happened or whatever. You're basically stealing the opportunity from yourself. I don't know. Don't steal your own joy. That's what worrying and overthinking and overanalyzing does. Yeah.
I would say the biggest analysis paralysis, making offers, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you may get somebody that knows what they're doing and they either know it all already or they know enough to be dangerous and they start, which is the way I prefer everyone to start. That's how I started. And they'll even do some marketing and get on an appointment or 2 or 10 or 20, who knows, but they haven't made any offers yet. And it's like they're not only are they scared to get the property under contract, but they might be scared to have to back out. Like, again, they're worrying about all the things that could happen or that may happen that may not be a positive experience for them. But because of that, nothing gets done. No deals get secured with contracts. Therefore, no deals get marketed to our buyers list, which makes it impossible to profit off of a wholesale transaction if you don't have control of one. So analysis paralysis is just it is a widespread issue.
I think it's the fear of failure too.
I agree.
It's a lack of knowing. So
all of these things, yeah.
So you're analyzing something. You're saying, well, I don't know what to do. I might mess it up. Well, we've messed up so much.
Yeah, I mess up every week.
We still, I think that's the biggest thing about being an entrepreneur, which is so neat, especially because right now, because I'm feeling like we're doing pretty well. So it's great to look back and be like, dude, we failed so many times. Well, guess what? It took that to be somewhat successful.
I was telling a student just over the weekend, I said, you know what the formula for success looks like? And we were joking with each other, and he goes, no, Dave, but enlighten me. And I said, it's failure plus failure plus failure plus failure plus failure plus failure equals success. You got to try. Trial and error. If it is very unlikely, put it this way, that you are going to try something and just be the very best at it the very first time you try it. Unless that is basketball and your name's LeBron James, right? Like, some people are obviously gifted. But most of the time, 99.999% of the time, you're going to screw it up in the process of learning it. But that's part of the formula.
That's a great point.
And he was like, man, he's like, sometimes you say things that are just so, like, duh. He's like, but I love it because I don't ever think of it that way. You know, and I'm like, dude, it's that simple, you know? Mm-hmm. Get out there and be okay screwing up and failing because you're going to learn as you go. And there's also so many things that, you know, Mike and I are able to teach our students. You know, like, obviously we want to help as much as we can and we want to show them the door, but they have to walk through it. And sometimes they won't walk through it because they get analysis paralysis, and we'll go grab their hand, metaphorically speaking, and we'll run through the door with them. And we'll show them, hey, this wasn't that hard. Let's do this again. Like, we got to get you doing this, so on and so forth. But, you know, analysis paralysis is a big reason why most people that want to be in real estate aren't in real estate, or they want to do more deals and they're not doing more deals, or just, you know, anything in life in particular. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can overcome analysis paralysis. I feel like, you know, when it comes to real estate investing, specifically wholesaling, or even landlording, I feel like the best way to prevent analysis paralysis is to stop thinking that you need to know everything. I think that's the first thing we can all do, is accept that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop us from doing what's important.
Hey, I hardly know anything about real estate, and here we are doing a real estate podcast, a couple hundred shows in, right?
But, you know, Mike, yeah, but that's why I'm partners with you. You don't have analysis paralysis, or at least enough of it to deter you from making moves. And I feel like I'm the same way. Like, we are okay failing.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Because we're going to learn
exactly
in the process.
And I don't do everything perfect. It's hard to accept that. Neither does Dave.
I don't intend to.
We both screw up our business constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
But I mean, again,
But we're still here talking about it, and that's the point, right?
Yeah, because you get over that failure and you say, okay, and we learn from it too. That was the other thing you were touching on, is like, hey, we've made mistakes, we want to help our students. But some of those failures that you make, you really learn the most from. Even when you hire a coach, we've both used coaches, use coaches.
We have coaches right now.
We still make mistakes.
Right.
We still go against some of their advice.
Yeah.
Because it's
we often regret it.
Yeah, it's human nature, though. Like, it's just what it is, and you learn from those failures. You learn from those mistakes.
Right.
Again, you just got to bust through it.
So, number one, guys, don't think or have the feeling or limit yourself because you feel that you don't know enough or all of it. I get people that come to me all the time, Mike too. You know, I've been studying for 6 months and I've read 5 books, but I just feel like, you know, I need to know the next thing. I need to know, you know, I'm missing something. And it's like, man, you probably know more than me about this. And I've written books and done 500 deals because you're reading all the little details. Like, I learn as I go. And I feel like everybody can also do that. You just got to take the leap, right? So number one, don't feel like you need to know everything before you start, period. And that can go for wholesaling, that can go for fix and flipping, that can go for landlording. Obviously, the more you know, the less risk you're going to have because you're going to be able to prevent a lot of it. But what I mean by that is you can go read 1 or 2 books, 3 books maybe, and or listen to maybe 10 hours of podcasts on the topic and know enough to start. You don't need to spend 7 weeks, 2 years, so on and so forth. You know, just learn a little bit and then implement. And that's so incredibly important. So that's big picture. When it comes to marketing, let's talk a little bit about marketing analysis paralysis. Very similar. There is a lot of ways to market. Don't think you have to learn how to do them all. If direct mail is intriguing to you or it sounds interesting, go buy a list or create your own by driving for dollars. Deal Machine's how I do it. Use coupon code Dave. You get 100 free text messages. 100 free skip traces. DAVE. But either create your list or buy one and send the mail. If you decide you want to do some cold calling, then get your list or create one, skip trace it, and start calling. Don't think you need to know how to do 30 types of marketing because none of it gets done. So focus on one or two things. Do. Action will trump any other activity 99 times out of 99 times. Action is the way to do it. So if you're having analysis paralysis with marketing, I can tell you right now, Mike, we bought 100 houses last year. We bought 100 houses the year before. What percentage of those houses were vacant?
That's most of them.
70?
Yeah, I mean, I could make it up. I don't have the number.
I don't expect you to.
75%,
okay, but
80%.
the point was, is it 20% or is it 80%?
80%.
Okay, it's on the high end, right? Mm-hmm. So go find vacant houses. That's your marketing right there. Boom. Vacant houses, absentee-owned properties. Start there. Call them, text them, send them a letter. That's your marketing. Period. Do not overthink it. Or go hang bandit signs. And don't do all of those. Just pick one. Get good at it. And then once you're a pro at that, or you feel that you can now teach that topic, then expand to the second one or the third one. But don't do it all at once because none of it's going to happen. And this is breaking through these analysis paralysis barriers that we're putting on ourselves in our own mind. This is a mindset podcast right here at this point. So you have analysis paralysis on the whole business as a whole, which we talked about. Don't worry about it. Stop trying to think you need to know everything. Do something. Same thing with marketing. Pick one, start doing it. It is not that difficult. Next will be making offers and talking on the phone to people. All right? Understand that you are going to screw up. I screw up. Mike screws up. We don't make it our goal to get out every day and go screw up, but we do make it our goal to get out and do something, take action. And if we make a deal out of it, awesome. We will hopefully learn something. And if we screw up, well, that happens too. Hopefully we also learn something from that experience. So you gotta get out and you gotta act. Action is really where it's at. Don't be afraid to talk to sellers, guys. Here's something that I think is very, very, very often overlooked. People are new, right? New wholesalers, new investors, new landlords. They come to Mike and I and they want help. And they say, man, I don't know what to tell these people. Like, I haven't bought houses before. Well, guess what? They probably haven't sold houses before, right? Or if you have a couple properties that you've done, you most likely have done more transactions than they have. So don't think that you're going to call them up and they're just going to be like, oh, you're a rookie. They don't know.
That's a really good point. Most people have not sold a property
ever
to an investor.
Ever.
Yeah.
In their entire lives. So your goal isn't to go out there and impress them like you're this kick-ass investor that's like everything around you just turns to gold. No, your job is to get out there and be like, man, I'm a human too. You want to give me a good deal on this property? I maybe consider buying it. But like, I'm not chasing it. I don't need it. I don't pay retail. Did I say I was an investor? I think I did. That's it. Like, make a friend. You know, just get on the damn phone. Don't be afraid. Make a friend. Tell them you're new. I tell people this all the time. They're like, man, I am so scared to go on an appointment or get on that phone. You're scared because you are leading on to this person, or maybe you're just telling yourself that you don't know what you're doing. So tell them that. Just say, hey, I'm new to this whole investing game, but I know I want to buy rentals, and it seems like you have one. I would love to come out and meet you and look at the property. I don't know if I'm going to be interested in buying it, and I don't know what my offer is. That's okay, guys. It's not a bad problem or a bad thing to just tell people that.
I think being candid and admitting your vulnerability to other people is one of the best ways to open up or start that relationship. Just saying, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I want to buy a house. Is yours one that you want to sell? Again, to me, that is going to put your relationship with that person just in fast forward. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's just a normal person. Like, he's just trying to buy a house. Like, maybe I'll sell it.
Yeah,
to him.
and
like,
it can come off intimidating if you, like, get on a phone with the seller that's never sold a house, and you're like, oh, the comps in the neighborhood are, for 3.2s at 1,100 square foot or, $126 a square foot. And you start writing off all these numbers. They're not going to know what the hell that means. Just make an appointment, get out there, make a friend. If you've never bought a house before, tell them. Don't worry about it. But you got to get through that analysis paralysis of getting on the phone and or making offers.
I wonder how much more common analysis paralysis is now. And by now, I mean like in the past 10 years, not just in our business, but just in general. Because so we have the internet now, right? It's the information age or whatever it is now.
Yeah, it's the microchip.
Like, there's so much information out there, Dave. Like, how can you not be overwhelmed with it?
Yeah, and I think everybody, they get in their own head.
Yeah.
And they think they've failed before they've ever even started. And that is failure, in my opinion. But you don't fail until you fail. So get off your ass and get out there and go fail. Because it's not going to be the end of the world for you.
Yeah, but you don't even...
You're going to learn.
You don't fail when you fail. You
learn.
You only fail if you give up
and you
or
give
you
up.
Quit.
Yeah, and that's that's it. You nailed it. I wasn't even thinking like that.
Because we fail.
But that's so true. It's part of the success formula.
Yeah,
is really where we're at.
Well, exactly. You said fail plus fail plus fail plus fail equals success.
And you can have 30 of them in there if you want. It doesn't matter.
Well,
right?
Dave, we constantly do it.
Yeah.
Like every day. Like, oh shit, another rental that has another maintenance request. Shit. There goes our cash flow on that one.
Can't wait for that one.
I mean, again, like we're constantly fixing problems because we mess something up. Big deal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah,
I don't know. Just a couple of losers.
You got to get out of your
Don't
own.
take our advice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
We haven't flipped that many houses. Only 500 of them or so, give or take. So, yeah, but that's it, guys. Analysis paralysis. It's a real thing. We're just trying to give you guys some pointers here today. That's the point. To get people out of analysis paralysis. I think the main ones would be, marketing. They're not sure what to say when they do their marketing. And I can tell you what I say. Hey, I'm Dave. I'm looking to buy some property. Do you have a property? Do you own one? Great. Do you want to sell it? Great. Yes or no? Great. Have a good day, or let's talk about it. That's it. Boom. When you're sending your mail, man, I see this all the time. Hey, what do you write on what do you send in your mail? Like, what does your letter say? Or do you have a specific postcard? Mike, can you please answer this? What do you put in your direct mail?
I have no idea.
But it doesn't really matter. The point is
we buy houses, I buy houses. Hey, whoever.
It's not important.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, what the message should say is, hey, I'm looking to buy some properties. If you have one, here is how you can contact me. And give a phone number, a website, an email address, a fax line, a texting phone number, or an address for them to mail something back to you, because that does happen from time to time. But don't overcomplicate the message. I'm an investor. I'm looking to buy some properties. It seems to me you own one. You want to sell it? Like, that's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that made 3 paragraphs to expand on that. But that's the message, guys. It's simple.
What's so easy about it now is like we use so many different services that I don't really know what the message is anymore. Like if we're using our Driving for Dollars, like they've got their own postcards.
Yeah, all
we'll
the mailing providers.
If we
like
use REI Print
Deal
Mail.
Machine, REI Print Mail, PropStream, all of these companies, Yellow Letter HQ, all these great companies, all the ones I just listed, we've used and or are using. Okay? But they all have templates too. And Mike and I aren't in there trying to tweak the template. We just say, hey, what looks the most appealing to you or me when we're in there ordering it? You like the yellow? You want the red? You like the blue? The message is all the same. We buy them. So when it comes to the marketing, guys, pick one, start doing it. Stop dicking around. All right? Seriously. This is the analysis paralysis that we see every single day. In the big picture, if you know that this business consists of marketing and that you have to make offers in order to do deals, stop worrying about buyers lists. It's irrelevant. You don't need a single buyer to be able to start making offers and or marketing to the sellers to see if you can go out and find a deal. Don't worry about step 7, 8, or 10 when you haven't even done 1 or 2. And I think that's really the point of this podcast is there is a simple process to wholesaling real estate or becoming a landlord or fixing and flipping a property. And people are what make things complicated. People are complicated. So the process, let's say for wholesaling specifically, is so simple. Market and find motivated sellers, guys. Make a lot of offers because most of them are going to tell you to kick rocks. But that's okay. Make a lot of offers. And then the ones that you are able to get under contract, market. Not every one of those are even going to sell. Market them to find that buyer, double close, or assign. That's it. You're talking 4 or 5 steps to do a deal. But people think that they need to know how to do 37 different things to do this, and that is just so incorrect to me. It's so wrong. So, Mike, what would be your number one piece of advice to people that are facing analysis paralysis? Because I think this episode is actually going to get quite a bit of people, searching out for it. Because this is a big problem.
Limit your amount of information that you consume.
I love that.
If you are...
It just leads to more. That's the problem.
Well, that's just it. If you're looking at, okay, well, how do I do this? Okay, give yourself like an hour of research time, and that's it. Then... Yeah,
because David Dodge may have a different way on YouTube of using PropStream versus, Brent Daniels or Jerry Norton or some of these other guys out in the space, right? That's a great point. Limit your knowledge. I
don't mean necessarily limit your knowledge.
Limit your time.
Your scope.
Of there search. You go. That's what I meant.
You have to take action on it. Let's use that as an example. So Dave wants to know how to
pull motivated seller lists.
Exactly. Okay, so you're going to, first off, you're going to go down and click the link below, and we're going to show you how to do that on DPI, podcast /comps. Go there.
/. You always say that.
I say backslash because I don't know any better.
Right.
Where was I going with this? So again, give yourself whatever it is. If you say, I'm not going to be ready to do this for 4 months, okay, give yourself 1 month. If you say, I'm not going to be ready to do this. Yeah,
there you go. Now I see where we're going with this.
For 1 week, give yourself 1 day.
Right.
You don't need to keep reading. Again, we've got a book on the BRRRR method. You don't have to read the whole book to do a BRRRR property. You don't, again, if you are...
Or at least all at one sitting.
No, there's absolutely no reason. Right. Same thing. So the wholesaling would be an even better example. We've got a whole book on wholesaling, too. You don't need to know everything to get started. That's, who is it that used to say this all the time? I think it was Matt Terrio, Epic Podcast. I'll plug him because he was a great inspiration to me when I started out.
Yeah, he still is. I like Matt. He's a great guy. Met him a couple times, too.
Yeah,
good
very,
dude.
very, very cool guy.
Yeah.
One of his things, he used to always give the example of if you waited to leave your house for all the stoplights to turn green.
Oh yeah, great analogy.
To get to your destination, you would never leave your house.
Assuming you could see them all.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're always going to be turning green or red, green or red. That is a beautiful analogy, Mike, because even when you're on the road and you see 3 greens ahead of you, the odds are one of them is going to turn red. You're going to have to stop or slow down or yield or something. Life that's the way it works.
Yeah, so again, that's a great analogy from Matt and his podcast. He's got way more probably listenership than we do. But again, it's very, very accurate in the way that a lot of people approach doing something new. They want to have all of the green lights or all the knowledge before they leave the driveway. You cannot do that. It is impractical. It is unrealistic to have all of the answers in your brain or know everything without actually doing it. You have to do in order to know. So again, that would be my 2 cents on the topic.
I love it, guys.
That's all I got for you.
The takeaway here is everybody's going to have some sort of analysis paralysis at some point. And if you are that listener that has been wanting to get into wholesaling real estate and you have listened to more than 5 of Mike and I's podcasts, you probably know more than the next guy just from listening to a couple of these shows. So if wholesaling is what you want to do, the first step is learn how to market. And then part 2 of step 1 is to market. Don't worry about what contract you're going to use or what title company you're going to close at. Start with step 1, finish it, then go to step 2. And that's personally how I feel, any challenging or something that I'm looking at in my life that doesn't look like that it's going to be, achievable. I just try to break it down. Hey, well, what's step one? And just start there. And that's it. That's kind of my secret to avoiding it is, hey, maybe I'm not that good at step one, but I got to do it because I can't jump over it to step two because then this is just going to be all out of whack. And I'm going to end up spending a bunch of money on something that's not going to work. So just keep it simple. Start there. And whatever you have to do to tell yourself that it's okay to make mistakes, you better learn how to do that quick because you are going to make mistakes. But it doesn't mean that you're failing. You said that earlier, Mike. Mm-hmm. Failure isn't failure unless you didn't learn or you repeat that.
Failure is just a mindset.
Just a mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's like, oh, I'm a failure because this one thing happened. Well, okay, yeah, bad things happen to all of us. We all get ourselves in situations that we don't necessarily like or want to be in. So you just keep moving. Like failure is just a mindset. Yeah, keep failing and you are a success. That's a lot of cheesy one-liners, but man, just keep on keeping on. You know?
That's right.
Life's a garden, dig it. You know, Joe Dirt. I don't know what else can we throw in here.
I like it. Well, that's it. I mean, I don't think we really need to keep going. I think that analysis paralysis is a very real thing, and it's all in your head. So just put your best foot forward, and just know that if you just start with the simple things that are needed to get to the finish line, 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time, start there. Don't worry about the last quarter mile of that marathon. Worry about the next 10 feet. And that if you keep looking at it like that, there is no reason that you are not going to be successful at anything you put your mind to. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but as long as you just keep putting 1 foot in front of the other, eventually you're going to be able to achieve whatever it is you put your mind out to do, guys. Analysis paralysis is made up, guys. It's in your head. Overcome it. And hopefully some of the things you've learned on this show today will help you do so. Signing off.